We are going to do part 2 on prospecting a new customer. And just to get up to speed what we did last time in a quick way, did a technical part in how to do a prospect of the customer. And we focused on a couple of agent procedures that do more audit than Kaseya normally do. Focusing on smart, check, disk temperature, finding relevant files local on the machines and so on. The idea was to, as a technical person, give the sales the support needed for doing a valid prospecting. And the result can be seen here in terms of the right part, where we have more information than normally is available in Kaseya. We have the Windows Experience score, we have disk temp, we have smart status. I actually edited the workstation on the top just to get a warning on smart, so you can see that you actually can pinpoint a certain machine. So let's go to the report section under Info Center. And reports is something you can use both internally in a weekly staff meeting or externally to show customers, or in this case cooperation with the sales to get the sales up and running and get a deal. I have created a report set here and I can explain the term report set. First of all, report set is a collection of reports available under the reports tab. All the reports you have created are single reports for one purpose. You create your reports under report here just by creating a folder, and when you have done that, creating a folder, just press new report. I will actually do a couple of screenshots for the most important reports we have in our report sets. It will be posted shortly. Report sets is a collection of reports, as described earlier. The idea here is to create a snapshot of the current state of the prospect in this case. We are actually looking for pains at the customer site, problems that are occurring, but the prospect maybe doesn't even realize they have problems. It could be disk space, it could be event logs, it can be current application crashes or unexpected shutdowns. Everything that can be monitored, everything that can be measured, we can report upon, and this is great when it comes to sales. So let's take a look at what we have in the report set. In this case, we have an aggregate table showing off machines in terms of CPU, memory, and all of those extra custom fields you saw earlier, smart, disk temp, and so on. We have disk utilization, how much disk space is utilized on the workstations in this case. We have app crashes, how many times have certain applications crashed during 7 days in this report. And we have all of the available application errors on all of the machines during 7 days. We have all of the system errors. System errors is, of course, system related. Could be anything that is in the subsystem, and also here you have the unexpected shutdown and stuff like that within that kind of error log. Application can be, of course, any errors in terms of application. It do not need to be a crash in this case. It can be any kind of error that the application would like to report. We have a top 3 error list, and this is actually per machine. You have every machine top 3 recurring errors, and this is great to see a trend. If there are any trends on the workstations that you have a certain kind of event ID that are reporting all the time. Unexpected shutdowns mentioned earlier, you have that under system errors here. And you have a missing security patches for Microsoft patches, and a compact report, in this case just a diagram, a circle diagram, pie chart. And you have a software section where we look at the most common softwares. We have the Adobe Reader versions. This is great when it comes to showing the prospect that you do have the need for upgrading Adobe Reader. And this is a service you can provide, of course. We have a complete list of all applications available at the customer site. Any application that has been installed on the machines. This is great for validating the customer that do actually need all of these softwares. Is this software something that the owner of the company has decided they should use? Is there a license breach in any of those applications? Are the applications available that should not be there in terms of disk file sharing, like torrent software and stuff like that? We have Firefox. In this case, the version of Firefox, is it updated or not? We have the very important Java version. Do we have the right version of Java? Is it updated or not? And you have a Microsoft license example. This is just a collection of available licenses in Microsoft terms at a customer site. So let's take a look at all of these reports collected into one piece here. When you have created the report set, just make it happen by just clicking on the report set like this. You can just schedule a report set and run it anytime you wish. And this is a cooperation between techs and sales. Maybe the techs do not need to do this. Maybe the salespersons have the training required to actually do this themselves. So the part for the tech is just to deploy the agents and just inform the sales 14 days has gone and now it's time to create reports. Great. The reports, after they have been scheduled, will be placed under the inbox. Here you have all the available reports that we just described. And let's go over a couple of them just to drill down the information available. We have the audit aggregate table. This report is something you can pick your own values here from the database as you wish. We have selected a couple here just to prove our point. Machine ID, operating system, OS version. By having OS version, you can see if there are Service Pack 1 build or if there are not Service Pack on the machines. In this case, we have a variety of machines missing Service Pack, as you can see here. This one missed Service Pack. There you have something to tell the customer that maybe you should update that machine to Service Pack 1. Done deal. You have an enhanced field called purchase date and warranty expires. This is we're actually using updatewarranty.com in this case to update our own machines like this. And it's fully automated, but it's not within the Casea system, so be aware, you have to buy that license yourself from the updatewarranty.com website. But it's a very good tool when it comes to prospecting. Here you can actually see the age of the machines, when they left the manufacturer in this case. So many of the machines here do have a warranty still valid, but maybe this one has just ended its warranty, as you can see. Something you can actually sell that customer a 1-year subscription for HP Care Pack in this case. You have available disk temperature on all the disks, 35 degrees Celsius on the first and only disk in this case. We have a smart value, malfunctions within the function of the disk itself or the disk surface. Smart will report this as not okay. So here we have an agent procedure that just ask the local disk if, hey, are you okay or not? Yes, okay, I'm healthy, that's good. I actually tweaked the first machine here so you can get a warning. Most of the time you will not get that many warnings at a customer, at a prospect. It's quite normal. The disks are rather good these days. But if you do get a warning like this, you can directly pinpoint to the prospect that, hey, we have to actually look at this. This disk can actually break down any day now. And do you have backup of that machine or not? So it's great when it comes to sales. The next part here is local PST files. That meaning every Outlook session do have PST files locally. If you install a POP3 email, for instance, grabbing the mails from a web hotel, then you certainly have the email files locally at your machine. And this can be quite risky to just have the files locally on the machine, and especially in terms of the combination when you have a smart value that are displaying warning. If this machine crashes and you do not have the backup of the emails, all the mails are locally, then this user here is toast when it comes to getting the email back. So this is a great opportunity just to tell the customer or prospect that, hey, we have to back up your PST file or find another solution that we do not have the whole archive of mails locally. And the last entry here is the local MDF file. In this case, it's local SQL Server databases, Microsoft SQL Server databases. Why do we have that? Sometimes when you install an application, could be accounting, could be any kind of administration software, it installs a local database. And maybe the customer are not aware of that actually all the information are stored locally on the workstation and not on any server. So the risk here, if it's combined with bad temperature or high or warning and smart results, do you have a risk here also that you may lose the whole database information? There are more databases than just Microsoft SQL database. Many of the softwares handling accountants, salaries, stuff like that, have their own databases locally. So please find any of those most common vendors and look what do they install locally and how do they back up those kind of softwares. Very important. Any questions about this aggregate table example? Just fire it away in the questions field. So the next we are going to focus on logs. Logs are great when it comes to finding trends and finding problems that are most of the time invisible for the prospect itself. Take a look at logs. We have a couple of examples here. First of all, we have the app crashes log. This is great when it comes to isolating what kind of applications are troublesome. And here we have a couple of examples. We have some applications that have crashed. We have, in this case, Internet Explorer. Yeah, crashed once. Crashed, Firefox crashed once here. Nothing in terms of a trend, just once. But if we do have the same application crashing all the time on one machine, there you have an issue to directly tell the prospect that you have to do something about it. Because if that application are crashing all the time, what about the user itself? Can they actually work on the machine? And what do that person cost the company when the person do not work? We have the unexpected shutdown. This can be very good to look at when it comes to system errors, machines that are unexpectedly shutting down, machines that are wrongfully shutting down. Maybe the person itself just pressed the power button and let it die. This is in connection with data loss and maybe the machine will not start up correctly afterwards, but if it's unexpectedly shut down in this case. So we have a couple of entries here about an unexpected shutdown. we have a top 3 error log. And this can be a quite handful of pages to read, but nevertheless, the information here can be very informational in terms of the frequency of certain event logs. As you can see here, you have the workstation, the name of the workstation, you have the count of the most top trending event log in this case. And maybe, okay, if you have a couple of event logs like that happening during time, that's not a bad thing. But if you have hundreds or maybe thousands of event logs reporting on one machine, there you have something to actually take a look at. So that's the log part. We have software and Windows updates left. So let's start with software. Software can be great to just give the prospect a list of all the software they do have installed on all machines, just for counting the versions they have and counting the licenses they should have for that software. But it's also great to pinpoint a couple of softwares that are heavily attacked in terms of security. And always, as always, Adobe Reader, Flash, and Java is one of those. I have created reports on Java and Adobe Reader here, just to prove the point. The reports in this case is under software if you create a new report, and software changed. And here we're actually looking at just the application Java. Let's take a look at one more. The Adobe Reader is a classic when it comes to security risks, and I do not believe that your prospects will have this list with all of the workstations with the newest version. I have actually seen during my time here down to version 3. So there are really old versions out there. And this is a very easy part for you to tell the prospect that for a certain kind of amount we can uplift all of the older versions to the newest one, and it can be fully automated within the agent procedures. And we at Upstream are providing the Adobe Reader installers for all the Nordic languages. So that's the software as an example, and I will also show the complete list of softwares. In this case, I just used a wildcard when it comes to filtering certain kind of applications, and we will actually list all of the applications. So here you can show the customer what kind of applications do they have installed and why do they have those applications installed anyway. So this is a great tool to just sit down with the customer and just go through the list. And internally at your company, it's great for tech and sales to just sit down and talk about this list and do some planning on how to present all of this information in terms of security risks and different applications doing the same thing and stuff like that. Maybe they shouldn't be 3 kind of PDF readers. Why having that kind of diversity? Better to just focus on one. And we have in this case a software Microsoft license example, and as you can see, you have a list of all the all the operating systems and Office licenses at the customer site, and even the license keys are tied to those softwares. Great. I have one more thing to show in terms of reports. As I can see, I have missed doing that automated. So I will just go and run that separately here. It's the patch management, and this is something that of course should be in the report set for the prospect. So I will run a compact missing security update report, just focusing on the security patches, not everything that are delivered by Microsoft, not the optional packs and stuff like that. Any questions? Just point them out in the questions formula. Okay, great. There you have it. There you have the actual patch status for the prospect in hand, and this is great for the sales and tech to just show the customer what is the actual state of the machines and what should you do to get them up to speed in terms of Microsoft patches, and of course explain why you need to do that in a more easier way than just pointing on technical stuff. When it comes to patches, it's security, it's being safe, it's be able to work with the machine and not have a blue screen one day and stuff like that are motivated for you to sail upon. So that's the report pack. All of this you have seen here is the result of what we did last session. We created an agent. We created a standard agent for the prospect to deploy. And that agent can be just downloadable like this, and it will actually kickstart. It will actually deploy itself under the customer example in this case. And could be named prospect as well if you wish. When we have the agent installed at the right machine group, the policies will start doing its work, and actually it's just one single procedure. One single procedure, in this case, just run this once, and it will chain start a couple of sub procedures in terms of checking the PST files, doing disk temp and stuff like that. And I also added in this case, get the temperature of the disk every day. So we have a steady line of temperatures during 14 days, so we have something to report upon if there are any rapid changes. Everything within the agent procedures are available in the Upstream Power Pack, and it's easy to just download and install, and you can grab it from the Tech60 blog and take a look at this under the Upstream Extended Power Pack. This meaning you have to, I have actually added some descriptions here so you can customize this yourself, but why we call this an extended power pack is you have to actually do more tweaking than just point and click. So in this case you have to create a custom fields, and I actually added all the custom fields needed for you guys to make this work. And if there are any issues when it comes to, maybe sometimes you have just a couple of numbers instead of the actual agent procedures here, so you have to update the list to select the different agent procedures once more when you have imported this. So I've actually added that as well, so it will be really easy for you to just configure this and just run this master procedure on all of the machines within the policy you just created, the prospect policy. And of course the prospect policy in this case will also be exported, so you can import that one as a sample for you to try out as well. So that's all for this session, and there are a couple of questions in terms of any questions. This will end the recording. After this we are open to discussion here when it comes to questions. We have 1/2 of an hour left. Thank you for watching.